A very good evening to everybody watching. Thank you for joining us tonight on the agenda. My name is Toiwan Jabela. Tonight on the platform, we are joined by a seasoned diplomat, former Ambassador Pius Dunaiski. He is, of course, he last worked in India as Namibia's ambassador, High Commissioner there. And we are just here to really chat about his views on different issues, including, of course, the recent appointments of ambassadors and what must those ambassadors do for the country. Thank you very much, Uncle Piers, for making time. It's really a pleasure to first and foremost meet you in person, but also to have you on the platform. If you can tell us a bit about your work in government over the years.
Oh, thank you. I've also followed a lot your meteoric rise as we saw it in the media world.
Thank you.
Seems you were cut for that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And you're doing very well, I think.
Thank you.
We do follow, especially when at least you warn us who's coming up.
Yeah.
So we know whom to watch.
Yeah, sure.
So we can have a choice.
Wonderful.
Now, thank you for the invitation.
No, wonderful.
On your question of my involvement, I've been a journalist with the Namibian. Before that, actually, my first job as a journalist was with Die Republiek, which is part of what you are now.
Yes. Really? You worked for...
Nick Creer was the one who recruited me.
Okay.
A couple of, I think 2 years or so before independence.
Okay.
And then from there, I resigned because I got so politically involved in the Republican.
Yeah.
I think politics was not the politics that my people wanted me to be with.
Yes.
So I changed.
Yeah.
And then I joined what they called Times of Namibia. I don't know whether you remember the paper.
Yeah.
Just before independence.
Yes.
It was also kind of a front paper.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit different from the Republican. But the idea was independence was coming, so they needed to have an English media coverage from a certain perspective. And then while I was sitting there working myself, you know, journalism is a tough job.
Yeah.
Late nights you are working. So Gwen called me and said, can you join us?
Yeah.
So on the very day 435 was implemented, I joined the Namibian.
Okay.
Now during that, the exposure was so well that Ben Gurira, the old seasoned, consummate diplomat, the New York man of SWAPO, I think I appeared on his radar and they offered me a position of the director.
Okay.
And as well as spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Okay. That was what the ministry was called then.
Yeah.
Andreas Guibe was the first permanent secretary, so we worked very close. During that time, I also, because I joined in 1991, in January. During that time, the negotiations for a new South Africa, a new democratic South Africa came up. And then we realized, we sensed it was the very time that we must move to get Walvis Bay and the offshore islands and the Orange River border fixed. Because we thought it would be much better to deal with the apartheid regime of South Africa than with the ANC. Because, you know, you can never really trust your comrades.
Yeah.
You know, when they are in power, they may easily say no. That time we thought the South African government, apartheid government, having given up on Namibia, then given up to allow the ANC to take over kind of a new dispensation, that in that transition, they will need to rewrite a new constitution. And in that constitution, you have to define your borders. And we wanted them to cut out Walvis Bay and give it to Namibia. And as well also ensuring that the border is also, the southern border of Namibia is in the middle of the river, and not, on the northern bank of the Orange River. So I was spokesperson of the Foreign Ministry. I started a new directorate there, which was policy research and information.
Yeah.
From there, I went to South Africa, so number 2, opening the mission in 1994. The Mandela era, the euphoria that went along with that. And after that, I came back home in 1997. But before I went to South Africa in 92, I was sent to be with Professor, what is his name? The German Tottemeyer.
Yeah.
To run the first elections, regional and local government elections.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I was a troubleshooter.
Yeah.
So I pick up a lot of my exposure to political happenings in the country, 435, all of these kind of things. And then when I came back in 97, I went and take over the Africa and Middle East Directorate of Foreign Affairs. I went out to take over the whole bilateral affairs of the ministry. I was then posted to Addis Ababa.
Yeah.
And that time was the time when Thabo Mbeki was having this idea of an African Renaissance. And then we have to change or transform the OAU into the AU, the African Union. We worked ourselves to death there, for months and months and so on. Eventually, we put all the structures in place for an African Union. Very different from the OAU, but that is too many details to go into. From there, after 2 years, I was transposted to Germany. I worked with Hanno Rumpf as my ambassador, and then just before I came home, about 3 months or so, I worked with Peter Kachavivi as my new ambassador. And from that, I came home, and then my posting to Angola was there, which I think Angola is a very important bilateral post for Namibia. And from Angola, when I came back after 4 years, I was given a post as ambassador to India.
Okay.
That seems short, but it's a very long period. Almost 28 years.
Yeah, that's a solid resume. How did your diplomatic career come to an end? Was it an amicable end of things? Is it retirement? Were you just told, no, we have other plans? How did it work? How did it pan out?
No, we were recalled. Almost all the people that President Pohamba sent out. We were a big bunch that left in 2013. Commissioned together, big bunch of ambassadors. All of them were recalled by the change of guard. When President, I don't think it was completely the change of guard. They allowed some of us to complete our 5-year contract. I call it a contract, but it's not really a contract because it's a political appointment and the prerogative is that of the president solely. Can recall you after 2 days. There is no such a thing of appointing him to a contract. It's a constitutional imperative. Prerogative, sorry. So I came back at an age of 62. I had only one post as an ambassador. And many people expected me to, like many people, like now those who have gone out now. Because they were even in the foreign service before independence for SWAPO and the SWAPO diplomatic corps. But I was 62 and they told us, it's retirement, my friend. You are 2 years over the line, so just come back. So it's fine.
But speaking of that, Ambassador Pius, when you look at the current cohort that has been appointed, there are some people who are well over 62, people who had essentially retired properly, and they were plucked from that to go back into that space. So retirement age doesn't seem to count very much in that space.
Sure. Most governments the world over, except certain governments, like the Chinese, if you haven't been a career diplomat, you cannot even be a political appointment as a minister or a vice minister or associate minister or whatever. The Chinese have a very rigid system. Everybody in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is a diplomat. Because it's a highly specialized job and they don't want to have political appointments. But in the rest of the world, there's a lot of political appointments. Whether you're 80 years old, you can do something, you can breathe a bit, you can even get a job. Most people get jobs. It's a kind of I don't know where to place you. I don't want you to be around here, mess around with the internal processes. So I put you somewhere elsewhere. I mean, that's the thing. So the comparison of us being recalled because under the rubric that we're over retirement age did not even match then. Because people like the ambassador was now recalled from Angola, Nandago, the former chief of protocol. He was then about 65 or so. So I think it's a mixed bag. You know, they tell you something why you have been recalled, but most of what they're telling you never telling. So the contrast is still there. Now the contrast is even much deeper. Because these people, some of them are way over 70.
What is the role of an ambassador? Do we understand properly the role of ambassadors? I'm asking this because in Namibia, from time to time, we have these scandals where foreign ambassadors in our country are being summoned. Even there was a group of them who were summoned by former Minister Pierre Mshelenga because they met the IPC leadership. And when you speak to ambassadors generally, they will tell you that we come to your countries to understand things because we report to our governments every day. We engage the media, even just to call an editor of a newspaper and say, look, this story in your newspaper, what does it mean? What are the implications of this? But if people hear that took place, they think it's some espionage, some sort of spying networks or whatever. I don't understand. Are our ambassadors doing this? Isn't what even our ambassadors ought to do in those countries abroad?
You must understand as an ambassador.
I mean, just to expand on that, if you're ambassador to South Africa, you can't you ought to be speaking also to the Malemas there. To the MK people there, not only ANC.
No, I think it was a very narrow approach of the Minister of Foreign Affairs then, Pius. I was actually very surprised because when we were trained as an ambassador, and it's a very intensive training, you are taught the importance of understanding the political, economic, social landscape of the country that you are sent to. You must have contacts and meetings and associates and networks across political divides, across everybody. You must understand, not only understanding those landscapes and explain them to your government and understand what kind of recommendations to make. What are the things, where do we have overlaps? Where can we have very good cooperation, bilateral cooperations? but also to make predictions who might come and take over, who will be the next government in that particular country. So you have to know and form also personal contacts with these people. Eat with them, bribe with them, all of those kind of things. So limiting ambassadors, because that message that the president, the minister gave, limiting ambassadors here, EU ambassadors, making an arbor of it, was just, it could not work. I mean, I don't know why. Was it fear that it was a kind of a legitimization of the IPC, that at a sensitive time where they don't know how strong, what's the depth of support for the IPC. So I think there the lines between SWAPO and government blurred heavily. So it was bad.
And it was not very nice. So those appointments have been made recently. There are more, the Prime Minister said in Parliament recently, when he was asked about the ethnic diversity within, or lack thereof, in those appointments. And then he said, look, there are more appointments coming. So let's not conclude yet that other tribes have been excluded and whatnot. You are a big advocate for inclusivity. When I follow your social media, you talk a lot about that subject. What was your impression of this particular one, and what must happen in the next phase of appointments?
I mean, we do have a lot of rumors because we have sources within the system. I mean, you have been in the system for 28 years. You know many of these things before it becomes public. So the first batch of 10 ambassadors leaving was a bad precedent. First, if you contrast them with her appointment, cabinet appointment 6 months ago, she took people, as we say, from the street, not political people with political clout, who are known, who have some visibility, some weight, and so on, political weight. She took people, young people, seemingly people who have shown a lot of innovation, talent outside of the political realm. And she decided she wants a cabinet, small cabinet, young cabinet, and so on. And I think the idea was the youth is the determinant factor in politics today. More than 70% of our electorate will be under 35 years old. So we have to look after the youth. The youth will determine the future of this country. So I thought, I even praised her, I thought, this is something. I mean, cutting the political structure from 24 ministers to 14 ministers for me was, I didn't know it will be possible in Namibia. So the president really, and I praised her for that. But then to come back 6 months later, and against the backdrop that the people that she fired and put into the political wilderness were appointees of her predecessor. About 87% of them were shown the door. Some of them quite young, like the Mushilengas and so on. The Shimis, I thought Shimi has a bright future, given his capabilities and so on. And these people were shown the door on the idea that there's a rumor swirling around them of corruption and these kind of things. So, things that has never gone to court or never scrutinized and so on. Now she's come back and just the pendulum is just swinging completely to the different side. She's now taking old diplomats. And now she's saying like the Prime Minister was trying to justify this by saying, this is just because, we have about 32 missions. This is maybe a third of that is only 10. There is still a huge group coming. But what she's not saying is that this group is taking almost the only important posts, the Russia, the Moscows, Moscow, Russia, Beijing, Washington, Finland, Paris. So all the other 20, if there will be 20, I don't know. There will be maybe cross postings as well. Yeah. I mean, those are the jobs that don't really matter a lot. So this is not very honest to say you can't make a full judgment now. Yeah. I mean, that 10 ambassadors, those appointments,
strategic ones,
very strategic. Those are the places that matter. But your question was, on the ethnic diversity one.
Yes.
Ethnic diversity is something that I'm very close. I mean, I've decided to make it my main theme of life.
Yeah.
Because I honestly believe that talent is not located in one place, in one group, one tribe. I mean, that was what apartheid tried to tell us before independence. I was a fierce fighter against apartheid. I mean, my Gwen Lister days, the Namibian and so on. And the messaging was very strong. If you don't have a white skin, you don't have brains, you don't have capacity, you are not a fully man or human being, and so on. And now we come back and you replace a system like that, and you have this strong reliance on one tribe.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's almost like we are repeating what the white people were doing. Now we are repeating, which is not right. So I've made it my theme. I've been writing about this much more muted, not so. I mean, as a diplomat and as an ambassador, I think you have limits where you can criticize. But already in 2010, when we were just 20 years old, I wrote a full-page opinion piece in the New Year, 2010.
Okay.
And I only became an ambassador in 2013, 3 years later. So I already, because I think it caused so much frustration and anger that I thought of, even when in the system, let me express, but in a very muted, very diplomatic way.
Where was it coming from? What was happening at the moment that just you couldn't let pass?
The frustration, because as the director for Africa and Middle East, and we have joint commissions on economic cooperation and joint commission on defense and security with all these countries around us, but also with other African countries. And when we go to these kind of joint commissions, I might be the only one who is not Oshivambu.
Yeah.
So, as a journalist, one of the biggest skills that we do have is just this observation, seeing patterns and then saying, oh, this is where the country is going. Mm-hmm. So I thought, no, we have taken a wrong turn here. Mm-hmm. And I thought of it's my responsibility to speak out. But when I retired or I was let to go after one post or one term only, I decided now I'm free. And I never had bad malice or bad intentions. I mean, people like Kalomo, as colleagues, we were best of friends. Mm-hmm. I mean, Veiko Niwete, who's now ambassador in South Africa, will be cross-posted to London. I work with these people very close. We have the highest of respect for each other. So it's not on a personal level.
Yeah.
It's on the level when I'm fighting for diversity. It's a level of principle, but also believing that if we unlock the talent that we have from all tribes, we can become a supernation because resources we have galore. We need leadership, we need the talent to be unlocked. And for me, it's a matter of principle. And I hope, I think my message is coming through.
Absolutely.
So I'm not angry anymore. I think at the beginning I expressed myself a bit too rough. A lot of people told me I'm the tribalist. I'm an Oshivambo hater. So, no, I don't think you understand me. I've got a Oshivambo family. The Sokopmon, the Shihamas, all those kind of things. If you go to my family, it's very diverse. And they know I'm not a tribalist. Otherwise, I would not have spoken to them.
Yeah, wonderful. We go for a very short break and return with Ambassador Pius Dunaiski. Our conversation continues on the agenda with former Ambassador Pius Dunaiski. Now, that subject, I want us to exhaust it further, of inclusivity. I think one of the reasons that people try to advance is to say, oh, the Oshivambo people are the majority. We are even called the majority tribe. but
executive
tribe. But the truth is, if you look at the demographics, the official numbers, the Oshivambo speaking people are not even the majority anymore. We are the bigger tribe, but we do not constitute more than 50% anymore. I think the last time I checked, we were 49% of the population. Meaning, if we want to be technical about these things, you would say almost that the majority of appointments, if that is your formula, have to come from others. 51% or so has to be non-Oshivambo speaking, and then 49 will be Oshivambo speaking. Of course, at the end of the day, the Oshivambo speaking people will still be maybe, they will have more appointments as compared to the Tswanas, but they cannot be the majority if that is your formula. Of course, we don't want to necessarily follow that the strict tribal proportion, but it must reflect our fabric as a country. When did we start having that kind of thing? Where did it come from? Because we were united as a country. The euphoria about independence and everybody went into exile, some fought from inside the country, and we were preaching this unity. Suddenly, there are these simmering discontents.
I was a very lucky guy. I call myself lucky. I have people like Ben Abadila, very calm, very wise old man. And I remember he related to me when OPPO was created at the beginning. The purpose was very clear, that these are people who have been more abused than the rest of the black people because of this, what you call this migrate labor. They were fetched there and brought down here because they are very hardworking. So they've been recruited in mines, not only in Namibia and South Africa, and so on and so on. And the whole thing, the push to create OPO and OPC, the focus was these people are abusing us. More than they abuse even the other black or other tribes under apartheid. The weight of oppression on Shivambu people were more. I mean, nobody who's an honest person will disagree. And he said to me when they created that, they realized after the creation of OPA and those kind of things, that this thing is not going to work. The other tribes, because they are minority tribes, if you can call them minority, they will feel threatened. So there was this transition from OPO, to SWAPO. So this problem of having a political force, and a force so powerful that the whole world ascribed to this political party as the sole and authentic representative of the people of Namibia. I mean, that way, it opened up such a lot of support streams internationally. They could fight this fight against apartheid, they could, and so on. So in this process, and I think because they was more eager, they were more on the forefront, militarily, diplomatically out there, that Oshivambo people, their commitment under the leadership of Tata Sam was enormous. And I think in that process, I think we missed the whole idea that, wait, we should take everybody along. We should not. Don't let us say we free this country, because we were the ones who made the biggest sacrifice. Our youth, by their thousands, went over. 1974. They were the people, the backbone that brought, you can say, So don't let us be entitled. Let us create a nation. In all my writings, I say that we failed in the project of nation building. But it is this history that has led to that. I don't think that it was a deliberate, malicious, that we, Oshivambo, we are far better people than you. I think we must understand that history part very well. But what I can tell that our leadership have gone wrong is not to be able to see that this is the pattern, this thing is going to cause us trouble. And the backlash is there. The Oshireros, they are almost, revolting the numbers. Everybody, they want. It's almost like a return to their own tribes, their own cultures. So, and now we're drifting apart.
Because that is exactly what I wanted to also bring up next. The fact that we just saw, Shinene recently, young Herero men telling the non-Hereros there, whether you were Bambu or Kavango that were found there, they were being told to leave for Shinene. And then recently, last week or so, the Hardap Regional Council had to cancel the interviews for nurses amid claims of tribalism. It's as if everybody has crawled back into their cocoons, their tribal cocoons, and I'm scared. It's a citizen, because the danger, Uncle Pius, is also that you have a guy born, a Shwamba-speaking guy, born in
Lutherans.
Yes, exactly.
No, say Lutherans, because I like Lutherans. They are the most integrated people in the whole country. Your tribe is not an issue. They intermarry. I think if we can become Lutheran people, Lutheran size or whatever. Because I think I've been to Lutherans twice in my life. I've never seen such an integrated town. Your Vambuness is nothing. My coloredness or Herodness is nothing. We are Namibians there.
Absolutely.
No, I'm just, at least there's a little light in the tunnel.
Yeah, yeah. We can all replicate what is happening there. Yeah, so that is, for me, the fear now, that if we are too conscious about our ethnicities and forget totally the national picture, people will fight back and say, no, but if you can't give us, if we can't share the resources together in terms of appointments, in terms of tenders, in terms of all these things, then stay where you are. You don't come into our little area because this is our survival now. So that is really my fear. When you come in as a new government now, we have a new government, and for me it's always a great opportunity to really do things differently and put us on a trajectory of that is a bit different. What must Netumana and Ndaitwah do?
I think the president, the backlash of her cabinet appointments, I think personally there are some fractures within SWAPO. You journalists have a way of seeing this faster than us, the normal human beings out there. But I think there is a truth to this idea that even between the Secretary General and the President of SWAPO, there is a kind of a rift that has developed. Because instead of the President listening to the party stalwarts and to the headquarters, she decided to have her own mind and to go, some people say go rogue and take these youngsters in and so on. I get the impression the President sent two messages with these new appointments of ambassadors. First, I want you people to understand that those that class of Fake Kainko, they must forget. Because when they fell out, many of them were hoping, you see, this, because of what I've done for this party, and you have this entitlement, at least I can become an ambassador. I do nothing, I just sit there for 5 years and live a very nice life before I retire or fully out of public life. And then she sent a message, I'm not going to bring you back.
Yeah.
And then also the other message is that backlash I want to try to heal by bringing old guard, but people I know, I worked with them in the SWAPO diplomatic corps, the Monica Nashandis, the Mvulas, those guys, I know them, I trust them, I feel comfortable with them. And I'm going to give them these most important strategic positions and so on, and so on. And by the way, what very few people know, there's something that happened months before her election as president. I was called, and people was, you are a former ambassador. I said, yes. I said, this is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Let's form a kind of organization. And then we can seep into communities and so on. We are respected, we are influential. And all of us who are coming from Foreign Affairs, the House of Foreign Affairs, let us all come together and lobby for her, campaign for her, form a kind of a platform to push her and so on, to help her to get over the line. Because there was a lot of uncertainty about the strength of Itula. And those people are the ones who are somehow getting some rewards now for the activism, political activism, even if retired ambassadors and so on, for that. So I think there's an element to it. But mostly I think the president is navigating a new path forward, and she's not sure whether the other people, those other factions in SWAPO, is behind her.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how will 2027 SWAPO Congress turn out. How will it pan out? Will it be a disastrous thing that she will just be a one-term president, and so on? I think she's busy with consolidation. After she kicked out these people, she must now, and that's why I say, when you look at, for the past 6 months, these people are all over.
Yeah, but isn't it also? I mean, I suppose there are two sides to the argument to those appointments, to cabinet in particular, because sometimes you get a sense that you have a president who's ready to rock the boat and say, look, you are not going to be perpetual ministers for the remainder of your days. It's a cycle. Sometimes you're on top of the wheel, sometimes at the bottom. So from that point of view, I understood it to say, look, maybe we also needed new blood, new perspectives. People are saying many of the problems that we have in the country were brought upon with these men and women presiding over those issues. Maybe we needed some fresh eyes and legs in cabinet. But there's also the argument that the president was also in a very difficult position, because if she had appointed these old ministers to cabinet, SWAPO was going to risk losing control of parliament, because these ministers cannot serve in committees, so the opposition will take control of these committees. Whereas these appointees, who were not elected but they were appointed, they came through the back door, if you like, at least it leaves others able to fill those gaps. I don't know, Uncle Pius, but I just thought maybe that is also a perspective. I don't know.
No, it is maybe, but I feel the president should have taken along. I mean, it's a dangerous gamble, or gambit for that matter, to allow a bit of a rift with your own Secretary General. It may be other, and not maybe, but I think some of us who are political commentators for many years will think, I think those guys are not very happy. What's going on?
I think the president made some concessions, because what we were reading and writing in newspapers is that there was that conflict. And then a few weeks after that, we saw the president showing up with a cake to congratulate for the SG's
birthday. I saw.
As if she was the one basically reaching out. And if my interpretation of that is correct, I think she did well, as opposed to egos and say, no, I'm president of this country, I'm president of this party, what are you going to do? But when you are actually the higher authority and you still reach out and say, look, I thought that was good action on her part. But the point is still correct, that you're making, to say that bridge has to be, narrowed. There can't be any gaps, especially for a party that is on a decline in some of some sort. But let me engage you in the last few minutes, former ambassador, on these postings. You spoke about these 10 are really strategic. When a person is appointed to a country as important as China, do we understand as a country just how important that is? Because it's a very, very serious thing. I mean, I've been to China, and you look at this country and say, wow, what do they do? It's a country on the move. And I'm not sure if we're capitalizing properly on some of those things. I see more SWAPO, Communist Party, camaraderie things than proper government synergies.
Precisely. And the other thing about old guard, they are very complacent. Many of them at this high old age, I think you may have health issues that we are not aware of. And many times people get these postings, these top jobs that is supposedly to be people that are highly capable. It's not that these people are not capable. I think they do have all of that experience. But if your health cannot go along, if you don't have the energy, I mean, I was in New Delhi. It's not it's a very important country. So it's an emerging, powerful country. And there I work myself. You know, if I come home, there's almost about 3 events, diplomatic events, that I have to attend. I come back at home around 12 every day. I mean, 26 million people, the traffic, just to drive around there. So I don't know what is so wise to do that. I would have taken people that can make the difference. Because years of experience, as much as it's important, I think brightness and capacity and just understand, to read the landscapes and to be able to ensure, because this is one of the great things that are very important now. We do really have a Trump era. The things are moving globally at a speed that is very confusing. And what is going on, in my thing, is that the liberal world order is being replaced by a new world order where you have these strongmen, you know, the
nationalist,
the Xi Jinping, what is the guy from Russia? Putin. You know, Modi from India. So it is no more a time of multilateralism. It's now the time of multipolarity, a time that is completely different. And these diplomats that went out now, I mean, they cut their teeth in the Cold War era. They don't really understand that this global order that is now taking shape is a completely different one. So I'm not so convinced that good choices were made. I would have appointed these people as advisors to ministers, because the experience and the networks and, you know, the benchmarks that they can bring home with all the exposure abroad, it's tremendous. I would not have sent them into the bush or to the village, but I would not have sent them out as heads of it, but I would have appointed them to keep them in the system and to really benefit from that vast experiences that they have developed.
No, because we really want in those boardrooms in foreign capital cities, strong men and women who can sit there and negotiate things with conviction and with clarity of thought. For us as Namibians, we don't want people there talking about Chairman Mao and Fidel Castro. I mean, they played their role, but now it's not time for that. It's really, I mean, the pace at which things are moving now, it's just unbelievable.
That's just to latch on to that one. I told my wife last night when we adopted, after severe, heavy debates in Parliament, calling on the United States to lift up the embargo, you know, against Cuba. I mean, we are really still in the past here. Reality has not catch up with us. For me, it was this one thing. Where are we? Do our people know? Or are we just playing for the gallery? And that gallery, nobody, you know, Namibia is such a small country. the survival of the state.
Yeah.
Navigating through this difficult time. It's more important than, beating the drum of liberation era kind of nostalgia, let me call it liberation nostalgia. Somehow, I was hoping the new president, with this massive change he brought in the cabinet, size of the cabinet, she will, continue building on this.
Yeah.
But it seems we cannot just, and what these people don't realize, and this is a quote that I really want to give you, that we must shift. There is a shift, and there is a massive shift among the youth, among those who will determine our future. Those sovereigns, which is 35 years and younger, 70%. There's a massive shift from liberation, legitimacy, to performance legitimacy.
Yeah, absolutely.
People want to see jobs, they want to see this, they don't care about your heroes.
Absolutely.
The guys you fought, and this big debate around the burial of what is this guy? Jesus Awala and so on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm just trying to say
I
there are certain things still happening in the country
Yeah.
that has very little value. That is just what I call liberation nostalgia.
Yeah. Within a minute, if you can sum up my final question, is really, you made a very good point about this country being small. Because I think we overestimate our importance on a global stage. We are Namibians, which we are, and I'm proud to be one. But our foreign policy ought to recognize that our true size, our legitimate size as a country, so that where you need to compromise for the sake of your own survival as a country,
as a state,
growth, then you ought to do that.
Very, very important. I was speaking to Andreas. He's living now. He was the first permanent secretary of Foreign Affairs. Close friends still. We talk from time to time when we are very bored. We can speak for hours on the phone, reminiscing about all these wonderful old days and so on. That's the problem of old men.
Yeah.
And we were talking even of South Africa. South Africa does not fall in the category of big powers at all. But being the most developed of most sophisticated economy and so on, a country that you can almost say is competing with Nigeria as, the leader of Africa. They have overplayed their hand horribly. They are involved with liberation because Iran was such a big supporter of the ANC. The struggle against apartheid. And they were, I'm sure that is true, because the ANC was completely bankrupt. They could not even pay the workers in Luthuli House. And all of a sudden, they have millions to run the campaign last year, which they lost horribly by 40%. It shows that the party is in strong decline. But getting that kind of money from Iran to take the Jews, the Israel, and those kind of things to the ICJ, playing along with all of these kind of things, I think Ramaphosa have overplayed his hand, and he's going to pay a price for that. Yeah. I think personally that just yesterday, Trump, the Senate approved Namibia's U.S. ambassador. Of the U.S. ambassador to Namibia, rather, to put it right. This guy is a lawyer, a very conservative lawyer. He's going to come here, and he's going to listen to these funny debates here and these sentiments. He reports directly to Trump. Yeah. This is these people are talking here. This is what they talk about us. They say we must leave the Castro fiefdom there in Cuba untouched and things like that. This guy the AGOA is already expired. And I think, these tariff wars and so on. if we are not careful, we will create chaos. I mean, the new world order, especially in Trump's case, he's not interested in aid. He's interested in a kind of the transaction of foreign policy. Yeah. You give me your stuff, your uranium, your diamonds, you give me those kind of things, your rare minerals, then I'll give you support.
Absolutely.
So there's no more question of, man, we are aid and we are fighting for the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we must read the situation right and do the right thing. I don't say we must shed our identity, who we are. Yeah. It was shaped by the struggle. Yeah. But the new people born after 1990, I don't think they're interested in debates of what Toby Opindi said, put in Parliament. Yeah. And I'm not looking down on those things. I'm just saying the focus is just too much there.
I understand.
Sorry for taking so long.
No, Uncle Pius, I really appreciate your time and perspectives. Thank you for coming on.
I appreciate watching your thing. So this one I will watch personally.
Thank you.
I will send my people to watch it as well.
Yes, that is Pius Dunaiski, is former Namibian ambassador to India, speaking to us on the agenda tonight on a variety of issues. Thank you for watching.